I'm Passeray, and I'm going to be playing 102 Dalmatians Puppies to the Rescue, the All Puppies category. And I'm just gonna skip this opening cutscene right here. And now we're to the level select screen. So we're gonna start out in Regent's Park, and timer starts when I gain control of the dog in Regent's Park. So that's gonna be after our cutscene here. So time starts now. And this is the All Puppies category, which means that we're going to collect all 96 puppies in the game. There's only 96 puppies, not 102, even though this is 102 Dalmatians. That probably makes some sense, because we're playing as 2 different puppies, so that adds 2 more. There's also 2 parents, so that adds another 2, so that gives us 100 Dalmatians. And then it's kind of debatable about the other 2. There are 2 puppies on the level select screen, but they don't appear in any of the cutscenes or anything. They're just kind of there, so I don't know. I think that's cheating. But that's up to you. You want to count those ones. Here we are. This is the last dog in the level. There are 6 in each level. Normally in other categories we wouldn't collect all of the dogs, because you don't have to collect any of them to beat the game. All you have to do is beat Cruella 4 times. And so this would have blown my mind when I was a kid, but it turns out you don't really have to do some of the levels at all.
Here goes.
Now the puppies that we save have different voice lines. They do repeat, but there's quite a variety of them. And they all have different accents and things, even though we're technically supposed to be in England this whole time. Although that is also debatable, whether we're actually in England this whole time, as you'll see later. Anyways, this is my favorite one.
You're a super puppy.
You're a super puppy. And you'll notice we're in a toy store, and this is Cruella's toy store, because the plot of this game has absolutely nothing to do with any Dalmatians movie that's been made. It was released with the live-action 102 Dalmatians movie, 2000, but it doesn't follow that plot, and it doesn't follow the plot of the original 101 Dalmatians. What's going on here is Cruella has a failing toy business, and she's decided that the solution to her toy problems is to kidnap all the pets in England and turn them into lifelike toys. And the original plot of these movies was already a little bit disturbing. I mean, she wanted to turn these puppies into fur coats in both 101 Dalmatians and 102 Dalmatians. But this one might be more disturbing. I don't know. I don't know who thought this was better. So we're in her toy factory, and we have to rescue all of our siblings that she's captured and put in crates. So there's just one more left right now. And you'll notice from my movement that I'm doing a lot of rolling and jumping. That's because rolling is the fastest way to move, but you can't roll infinitely, so the jumps in between the rolls let us keep our momentum as we go. And that's Toy Store. Alright, now we're in Piccadilly. And actually, this is the level that you can use if you want to figure out what platform somebody's playing on. Because if they're playing on PlayStation, if they're playing the PlayStation version on any of the consoles it can be played on, you'll actually see fog in this level. That's because the PlayStation can't render this whole square at once. The other version that's available is the PC version. And that one also doesn't have fog in this level. But that one is different from the console version. So there's a big divide on the leaderboard between the console versions and the PC version. Because the console versions have longer load times, and they have a different kind of camera, and most importantly, they have some exclusive tricks that you can only do on the console version. That means the PlayStation version and the Dreamcast version. Then the PC version has shorter load times, but you can't do those console exclusive tricks, so kind of a trade-off. And I really like the Dreamcast for this category in particular because it has a lot less lag in certain levels than the PlayStation version does, so in a long run like this, it really adds up.
Nice job.
Also, this is just me, but I really don't like the PlayStation controller. Alright, so that's the last puppy. Oh, whoops. The biggest giveaway of the Dreamcast version is actually those portals there. They look very different from any of the other versions because they're kind of bluish. Alright, now we're in Big Ben. And for one thing, this is how you definitely know that we're in England, but for another thing, this level is definitely a place where a lot of runs get reset. And even when I was a kid, I had a really big love-hate relationship with this level because it's so much platforming and it's very punishing actually. Because you have to get to the top of Big Ben and they make you climb it. At one point they make you climb it in one big room. So if you fall back down then you have to climb it all again. That's okay, I'm gonna try to make it look easy. Now we have to wait for these pendulums. I can get this puppy.
It's really bright out here.
And you can get momentum in this game, in the levels, in various places. So right there, jumping at the right place on that pendulum, get a little bit of a speed boost, and I'm going to use some more momentum here to be able to jump higher. Ooh. If I didn't get worried there, I would have gotten it. You have to use momentum to get to that puppy, actually. You can't get it otherwise. Like that.
Whew, sure feels good to be out of there.
Alright, now we're to the worst room. This is where I hated it as a kid. We're gonna go up here. The worst part is that there's puppies and secrets around the top. But if you fall off from up there, you have to start again. But we're gonna skip most of it, actually. After this puppy, I'm gonna use an out of bounds so that we don't have to do any of the platforming again. And first I'm gonna head over here because this reloads an enemy, and we want it to be in a certain position for this trick. I have to line up just right. Not get hit by it. Alright. That was a bad... Alright. I'm gonna reload it one more time. Have to come at this from a very particular angle. There we go. Perfect. Now we're out of bounds. And Dreamcast actually has an advantage in the out-of-bounds areas because the render distance is much longer than the PlayStation and even a little bit longer than the PC version. So you can actually see all of the room in Big Ben, whereas in the other versions you wouldn't be able to see them yet. Well, now that I'm right next to it, you'd be able to see it, but certainly not right away. And that's Big Ben. Alright, next up is the first Cruella fight. And in all of these Cruella fights, we're going to be flinging fruit at her. Actually, I should say the first 3. Cruella seems to have a weakness, and the weakness is fruit. So right now we're flinging pineapples at her because, of course, there's catapults with pineapples on top of Big Ben. We're gonna keep hitting this bell because that stun locks her. Just keep flinging the fruit. And now we've defeated Cruella, so now we're onto the Royal Museum. So that's Fluffy. Fluffy is telling us that we have to help him put all of the artifacts back before we can leave. So Cruella's henchmen came here, and they moved all the artifacts around, so we have to put them back in order. So we've grabbed a Roman coin, which is in the dinosaur exhibit, and now we have to bring it back to Fluffy. Now we're gonna head to the Roman room to grab the scarab. Oops. So I got a slope boost there, and slope boosts are a pretty cool movement tech in this game. Because if you jump and then roll onto a slope, you'll get a speed boost. And the bigger the slope, the bigger the boost. So for some slopes, you can get really cool, really fast boosts. There's actually one later that I'll mention.
Here's this.
That was a medium-sized one. So we got the scarab and we gave it back to Fluffy, and now we're going to get the dinosaur bone, which is in the medieval room. Now we're gonna head into the Egypt room to get the crown. I'm gonna do an out of bounds here, because usually you'd have to get up here using a different room. But we're gonna do it in the same room using a toast pot. Which is actually pretty cool. A toaster that brings you your toast, except it's trying to kill us, so maybe not so much. The way that out of bounds works is by getting out of bounds there, the game tries to figure out where we should be, and it finds the second level as the only valid location for where we are.
Nice job.
So we get put up to the second floor. Now we've got the crown and 2 puppies, so here's a nice slope boost. That was a fast one.
Here's the.
And our last artifact that we're collecting is a donut, which you might realize is not an artifact.
For rescuing me.
That's because Fluffy's decided that we can't leave until we bring him a snack. So we're going to Fluffy his donut, and then we can go.
Okay.
There's one more puppy that we're going to grab in the medieval room.
All right.
There we go. Let's Royal Museum. Alright, next up is the underground. First I'm going to get a slope boost here. And jump into this train. That gives us another boost that we can use to get all the way up here a lot faster.
Yeah. I'll see you later. Give Cruella
And this
a
water has,
toy.
or this level has a ton of water, which lags the PlayStation for a lot. Ooh, that was interesting. Oh, But luckily on Dreamcast, the water lag's a lot less. There's still a little bit of lag here, but not so bad. Then grab this key, use this fan. There's a puppy all the way across there.
You're a super puppy.
This is actually the level that I'm most likely to die in, so I have to be careful. Especially with these boats, because there's a lot of enemies you have to kill in order to advance here. That was bad. Now there's one more puppy up here. We gotta get this guy. Ooh, yikes. Okay. Still okay though. I can pick up some health in a sec.
I knew you'd rescue me.
Style by that guy. Perfect. Alright. Now there's one more puppy over here. And the last one, we have to defeat 4 of those bears. These bears are interesting because they tell you that they say, "You're my best friend," and then they try to shoot you. So I don't think this game is really teaching you how to pick good friends here. There we go, that's the last puppy in
Boy,
Underground.
am I glad to see you.
And the next one is Carnival. And Carnival's a really cool level that you actually don't get to see in all levels, which is the most popular category of this game. Because you don't have to do any of Carnival to get out of here. You just have to roll straight to the end, and the end is very, very close to the beginning. Because most of this level is in rooms around the sides, so you can just go straight to the end in a very short line. But because this is all puppies, we get to go into all the rooms on the side, and it's actually a really fun level because they designed it to be like a funhouse or something. Like rooms that change when you go back into them, things that have weird perspectives and slides and things like that. It's pretty cool.
Hey,
And there's 2 levels in the Dreamcast version that have different music than the PlayStation and PC versions. And this is one of them. And in this one, the music is completely different. In the PC version and the PlayStation version, the music is Danse Macabre by Sansons. And in this one, it's Carnival of the Animals, also by Sansons.
puppy in there.
I don't know if it was like a joke to put Danse Macabre in there, but I also don't know why it wasn't all of them. Why change it for this one?
Hey,
Anyways, the other level that has different music is Underground, the one we were just in. And the music's not a whole lot different, they just added an extra instrument in the cast version for some reason, so in that case it must have been
man.
that
Am
the other
I
platforms just couldn't
real?
support it. This one has like a fully orchestrated version of Carnival, so it's kind of cool. Alright, and so here we see a wagon, and we're going to go inside. And it is bigger on the inside. We're gonna grab a puppy.
Oh, thank you so much.
Now we're gonna go back inside. Now it's a different room, but there's no puppy in this one, so we're gonna leave again. And we're gonna do it again. This one, there's a puzzle to do. There we go.
Excelsior! I'm free.
Alright, and now there's one more puppy to get. This puppy's on the roller coaster staging area.
You're my hero.
The roller coaster's kind of cool because you can ride it, and you collect donuts. So I don't know, somebody really liked donuts while they were making this game. And you only do that in 100% because you get a sticker for it, but it's really not useful in general. Alright, and now we're on to Lumber Mill. Because I guess we gotta have a Lumber Mill level. I don't know, actually, why we have a Lumber Mill level. But we're in one. This is another one that has a lot of lag on the PlayStation version, but luckily on Dreamcast,
You saved me.
that's kind of taken care of. It also means that I can try out some things that don't work so well with the lag, like this jump right here. That's a very tight jump. The lag really messes it. Oh, back. Okay. Gotta get this guy in order to get the puppy.
Way to go!
And I'm gonna do a tight jump at the top here. You can get it by, if you jump and roll, you can actually turn in the air. But it's some tight timing there. I also need to be careful not to get hit by either of the guys, because they will come after you immediately after the puppy cutscene ends.
You're a super puppy.
You're a super puppy. And we got an extra life from... Whoops. Now we gotta collect this key because we are going to be using the crane. That's a normal thing for puppies to do, right? Use heavy machinery. Do your puppies drive cranes? Mine does. There's a puppy up here.
Nice job.
Gotta go back. There we go, that's Lumber Mill. Now we're at the halfway point. This is Cruella 2. So this time we're shooting watermelons at her. Oh, no, not what I wanted to do. Oh, I can't do that during a cutscene. Sorry. I'm trying to switch puppies. I probably didn't actually save time there in the end, but the reason that I switched puppies is because this cutscene is 2 seconds faster with Oddball than with Domino. So now we're Oddball. Oddball has no spots, which is why she's called Oddball. Domino has the domino spots on his ears. And so we switched to Oddball because of that cutscene. That's it. The movement is exactly the same between the two puppies. So that was that. We beat Cruella by shooting watermelons at her. And now we're in Countryside. Oh yeah. What's it doing? That was weird. So we have to get both these planes in order to get the puppy that's over here. Oh, hi.
All right.
So there we go. Now we head over here.
Thanks for rescuing me.
That's a room I would never attempt rolling up those platforms in
Way to go!
on the PlayStation because there's so much lag, but luckily I can try some cool things on this version. This level has a lot of cool opportunities for slope boosts because it's so hilly, so that was one right there. No! I got stuck under it. You have to wait for it to come back down.
Nice job!
Now we're gonna head to the next area, and the next area has Stonehenge for some reason. Because why not? There's a puppy over here. More importantly, if you do 100%, you have to vandalize Stonehenge. Because I guess that's child-friendly, I don't know. There's this bad guy down here, and there's a cutscene where you lead him up there and then destroy Stonehenge. Now we're on to Barnyard, and the pig that you just saw for just a split second there, that was Priscilla. And it's Priscilla's birthday. But because it's Priscilla's birthday, we're gonna help her out, and we're gonna do all of her chores. And the reason that she has chores at all is because the farmer is so lazy that if she doesn't do it, nobody will. But right now we're going to turn on her water for her. Then we have to head back to her every time, just like Fluffy. Just like Fluffy in Royal Museum. And the reason that we have to do all of the tasks instead of just skipping to the end is because the level exit doesn't load until you've done the last task. Even if you get there early using out of bounds, it's not there, so it doesn't help you any. So the next task after we just fix the windmill is to put the hens back in the coop. And I'm taking damage here on purpose because we're going to do a death warp. It's a lot more useful to do death warps in this level because it takes you right back to Priscilla. And this level's so big, so it's just easier to take a death. Whoops. There we go. This hen's going quite far away. You're making this difficult. Alright. I'm gonna bark this one in, and then there is a puppy over there, so try not to get hit by the bull. Die in the meantime. It is possible to take your last death point, your last hit point, and get the puppy out of the box at the same time, but that one's a hard one to stack, so a little bit risky to do. Normally in all levels we would stack the end cutscene and the death cutscene.
I'll see you later.
That one's a lot easier to pull off. But now we have to go empty out the grain silo because the farmer's left his tools at the bottom of it. Good place for it. And I'm setting up for another death warp here. Then I jump through this haystack. And what actually happened there is when you jump into the corner, you jump on top. It puts you on top for some reason. So it is considered an out of bounds to do that, because you're not supposed to be on top. Now we're gonna empty the silo real quick. And we're gonna get this puppy, because this is the one I missed the most. I always remember before I leave the level, but it's no fun to come back. And so, yeah, there were tools at the bottom of the silo, but there was also a puppy. Gotta wonder. Alright. Now we're at 4 puppies, and we're on our last task. Right now we're gathering a key. This is to the farmer's tractor. We're going to use that tractor to knock down his outhouse. Which you might think is some pro-revenge on Priscilla's part, but actually she's just being helpful. Priscilla's too nice to take revenge. But we're helping the farmer because he just got indoor plumbing and he doesn't need his outhouse anymore. I just went through that wall there. We don't really know why that one works, but it does. Here's our last puppy, and then I'm going to go and set up a death warp on the other side here. There we go. There we go. And you might have seen that birthday present appear really, really briefly. And so we could do a donation incentive to go and get that birthday present, but it's actually not required to give Priscilla her birthday present in order to leave the level. They make you give Fluffy his donut, but they don't make you give Priscilla her birthday present. And now we're in Ice Festival because, of course, we are. You have to have the snow level. You just have to.
Get away!
We were just in Barnyard, where it seemed like we were in late summer or maybe early fall. Now we're in the middle of winter. This is all supposed to be in England, so... I don't know. I'll have to thought that one through.
You're the greatest.
This level's also the one that is available as a demo for the PlayStation. I'm not sure why they picked this level, because it's not really representative of the game. It's an ice level.
Nice job!
Take that, buddy.
What's really cool about that demo, actually, is that you can tell that this game was supposed to be released for the original 101 Dalmatians movie. Because in that demo, it's kind of a halfway in-between point. Some of the characters are named the names of the Dalmatians in 102 Dalmatians. Some of them are named for the 101 Dalmatians. And so the ones with the final voice lines have the right names, but the ones with the placeholder voice lines all have the old names. So they definitely just changed it up to capitalize on 102 Dalmatians when it came out. They were not expecting to do this. The little skip you can do here, you're not supposed to be able to jump over that, but you can. I'll be over here. Now there's one more over here. And we're done with Ice Festival.
You're a super puppy!
You're a super puppy. There we go. Alright. Now, right after Ice Festival, we're on to Ancient Castle, where it looks like it's spring, maybe? I don't know. Definitely not winter, that's what it is. There was just a freak snowstorm in the middle of winter. Or in the middle of summer, no big deal.
Way to go!
This was actually one of my favorite levels as a kid. About the music in the app. This level does have some backtracking in All Puppies because it's got some secrets and stuff that you have to unlock later. Ooh, okay. That was weird.
You're the greatest. You saved me.
Got the puppy in the secret room. Now we're going to head over to the bedroom over here. We're gonna flip this switch. And this switch opens the fireplace up because there's a puppy in the fireplace. Maybe these puppies are fireproof because there's also a puppy on top of a boiler later. And we also go on top of the boiler. So I'm thinking that maybe these Dalmatians are just like genetically engineered fireproof dogs.
You're a super puppy!
So this is the puppy in the fireplace. Now we're going to go catapult ourselves to the second level, because why not? Seems safe. One more puppy we gotta get. Oh, strong.
Nice.
This puppy's just gonna jump down that hole right there, so I hope he's okay. We're gonna keep climbing. This wind can really get you if you catch it in the wrong place in your roll cycle. Oh, there we go, yeah. And that's Ancient Castle. Now we're going to fight Cruella again, and this time we're going to fling pumpkins at her. But first we have to break down this castle wall. So I'm gonna do a manipulation here. Perfect. This manipulation is gonna make sure that Cruella is in exactly the right place to break down the last castle. I want her to be right there, turned to the side, because if she's turned to the side, then we can hit her through the wall. And you're definitely not supposed to be able to. You're supposed to wait for her to walk between the wall pieces, but when she's turned sideways, you can. So we do. Alright, now we're in the last stretch of the game. We have to beat Cruella one more time, and we have to do 4 more levels before we face her again. So now we're in Spooky Forest.
You're the greatest.
Spooky Forest is definitely a maze, but I don't know, it's kind of cool looking. Maybe not quite as spooky as we're planning. There's some later levels that are much more spooky. Forest.
Yip yip yippee! I'm free.
Go!
Way to go!
This tree kind of acts as a hub so that you can get to all the rest of the level. And now we're gonna go and rescue this puppy from the cobweb, or I should say spider web. It's a giant spider web. I think we probably don't want to see the spider that made that. Gotta get up here. Oh, that would have been okay if I overcompensate.
You saved me!
Oh, that does not usually happen.
You're a super puppy!
That's it, that's the last one. Kind of a shorter level. Spread out. Now we're on to Hedge Maze. This one's definitely the hardest in All Puppies because Hedge Maze is a real maze. It's very, very confusing. And so in shorter categories, like all levels and any percent, you don't have to do most of it. You turn like one switch and then roll to the end. You actually have to do more of it for All Puppies, and this is where it gets complicated. So the current route is actually really cool. It includes a death warp and some checkpoint manipulation.
You're a super puppy!
So I'll be describing that as we go along. But first I've got to get some puppies at the beginning, so we've already gotten 2. One more up.
Yeah, I'll see you later.
Then we're gonna head down here into this giant rolling ball of death. That's what Cruella keeps in her mazes. I mean, really, it makes sense for Cruella. I'm gonna be careful here not to get this checkpoint, because if I get it, it'll mess up the death warp later. But this maze is I guess, in Cruella's backyard, because the next level that you do is Cruella's house. So, this must be in her backyard. Get this checkpoint, and then turn around. And I'm gonna use this switch. That turns this piece back at the center area and reveals a puppy for us. And we're not gonna use the death warp quite yet. We're gonna go all the way back there first. Get that puppy. Because if you death warp right now, it'll actually reset that switch, and you won't be able to get the puppy. And again, I have to be really careful not to get that checkpoint. Checkpoints happen when you wake up Waddlesworth. Waddlesworth is that parrot. And I think Waddlesworth is actually from 102 Dalmatians. I think I remember him like being on the box and the promotional art and stuff. Waddlesworth the parrot. And every time you wake up Waddlesworth, it saves your checkpoint.
You're the greatest.
That was cool. That was really cool. And it counted. So that was an example of dying and freeing a puppy at the same time. I was really lucky that I didn't die before freeing the puppy. And I would have had to go back.
I knew you'd rescue me.
But that's really cool. There's only a few places you can do that in the run. I've never pulled it off on that one before. I have done it on Barnyard before. Alright, so now we're doing this puzzle here, and this is one of the few instances where RNG really matters, because the way that this puzzle is oriented is completely RNG. And so far it's been okay. Actually, that was better than okay. It's a little bit better than average. I wouldn't say it was fantastic, because the first ones took a lot of turns, but that was pretty good. Not touch maze. So now we're in Deville Manor. This is Cruella's house. And it's kind of funny because we just outraced Tibbs. Tibbs is that cat, Sergeant Tibbs. Because they don't expect you to try to go faster than him. So if you go faster than him, eventually he'll just disappear. And reappear up here because need him up here for something. But we're not going to talk to Tibbs. We're going to just get this puppy and go.
Bright out here.
You can drop that chandelier on a bad guy, but we're not going to do that. And for some reason in this level, all the puppies are at the end. So we got one that was kind of in the middle. There were none at the beginning. And then all the puppies are over here. So we just got one. Another one right here.
You're my hero.
Another one up here in this, like, bathroom thing. I think it's a bathroom.
Which way to the bathroom?
Good news for that puppy is that he is in the bathroom. And the last two are down here in the boiler room. Because of course.
There's stuffy in there.
And the concerning thing is that you can see this boiler is definitely very much on. It's on fire. You can see it there. There's a puppy on top. And we're gonna go on top too.
Oh man.
This is why I think these are fireproof dogs. That's that. That's Deville Manor. Now we're on to the last real level before we fight Cruella one more time. This is Toy Factory. You might have noticed that was Fluffy right there. Fluffy's back from Royal Museum. Oh, whoops. We do a little skip there. You're not supposed to be able to do that. Oh, we do. Oh, whoops. It's okay. But Fluffy's back from Royal Museum, and he says that it's because he got captured by Cruella's toys. They put him in a box, but then he was able to squeeze out through the air holes. Okay, Fluffy. But he's here to help us get through the Toy Factory, which is kind of scary, actually. I'm not really sure what purpose most of these things have. I'm trying to get a boost off these, but they're not going. And the Dreamcast version actually has some really silly sound effects for them. I don't know if that was because of, like, a ratings thing or something. These make, like, crushing noises in any of the other versions, but they make kind of splat sounds in here.
Wow, it's really bright out here.
And here's some more of them. Now we're gonna wait right here for another box to come. Here we go. We're gonna ride this to the next level. Ooh, whoops. Be careful not to fall through the floor there. That is a possibility. That would be very unfortunate because we'd end up soft locked.
I'm going home.
So we got that dog. Now there's 3 left before we rescued all 96 puppies. It's right here.
Keep up the good work.
They're these magnet things, whatever they are. It's another of those things you have to use the momentum to get you up. This is the last room, so... This is another one of those things where you have to use the momentum. And they're on a cycle, so that makes it a little bit harder. That's okay though, we got it. Puppy number 5, and there's one more puppy. And this one's gonna need some tricky platforming. If you were playing the game the intended way, you'd get all of these switches. You can see there's one there and there's one across. But we're just gonna get this one. We're gonna skip some of that with some creative jumping. Oh, if I can do the creative jumping. There we go. Here's the last puppy.
When I get my paws on Cruella, I'm gonna...
Then, one more time through those gears. We're gonna face Cruella again. This one's the hardest. Definitely a jump. One more time. There we go. I'm gonna go fight Cruella now. So this time we get lasers to fight Cruella with. Not fruit, lasers, but we don't get to actually shoot Cruella because this is a kid's game. But we're going to target her machinery. There we go. I got all of those in one cycle, which sets us up for some good cycles later. And this is the other part of the run where RNG is actually important because these robot heads that pop up are completely dependent on RNG. If you get bad RNG, sometimes it can really lose you a lot of time. That was pretty good though. I got 4 in one cycle, so there's just 2 left. Go. That was actually very good. Now we have the last one. We're here. That was so close. I jumped the gun there. That's that.
Not another! I won't let Mutt hold still!
So that is 102 Dalmatians, all puppies. That was actually almost a PB for me. Very close, but thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. We just dropped Cruella into the super glue, and now she has come to the same fate that she was trying to give to the puppies.